So now that we got this very first basic solution here, I want to improve this code or change this code by outsourcing this core price calculation logic into a separate package. And for that, I'll add a new prices subfolder, and in there a prices.go file, which belongs to a package called prices, in my case here. And in this package, I now want to work with a struct, so with a custom type, which I'll name tax included price job. That will be my struct. Because my idea with this program here now is that in the main Go file, in the main function, I want to generate a bunch of jobs where every job should be based on a single tax rate. And then I want to dispatch those jobs, you could say. I want to process them, I want to trigger them, and then inside of those jobs, the prices should be read in from a file in the future. For the moment, they will be hard-coded, and this calculation should be performed. And then later, inside of that job, the results should be written back onto the hard drive into a file. For the moment, they should simply be printed to the console. So therefore here in the prices package, I'm now creating a new struct that should describe such a job and its structure and data it needs to work. And of course, as always in programming, there will be different ways of implementing and solving this, but here's how I plan on doing that. In the struct, I want to have a tax rate key, and I'm using uppercase names here, starting with uppercase characters, I mean, so that we can access both the struct and these fields here from outside this package if we wanted to. So I want to have a tax rate, which should be a float64 value. Then I want to have my prices, which should be such a slice of float values. So that should be the input prices. We could therefore also name this field here input prices to be very clear what will be inside of there. And then I want to have my tax included prices, where again we could use such a float slice here, so that for a given tax rate and given input prices, we have a list of output prices, of prices that include the tax. But to also use the map type here, I'll actually use a map type for this field. And I want to get a map where the key should be a string value and the value should be a float64 value. And my goal is to make sure that the string will then later be the input price again, for which we then have a given tax included price. So we have the input prices here in this slice, but so that we then also can clearly see which result price belongs to which input price, I'll store the results in such a map, where we'll have a clear mapping between input price converted to a string mapped to a result price, which is the input price with the tax included. So that will be a struct I'll use for controlling these jobs and for performing these calculations. And now we can add a method to this struct.